talked last week about, some of the watchwords that the Lakers were telling sources was, we see him as a Pat Riley style of coach. That felt a little far-fetched just because of Riley's experience going into his head coaching job was so different from JJ's. Now I'm hearing more people say, we kind of see him as a Steve Kerr kind of coach, which is, to me, a better comp in terms of a guy who hadn't coached before. Now, Steve had been in the front office, but that is different. Yeah. And two big stars on the team, and third in Draymond. But the idea being that, you have these two guys that you hope to take up for another level. So that is some of the stuff that I am hearing. What I think about that, look, how would anyone possibly know how this is going to turn out? And that includes the Los Angeles Lakers. There is no way to know. There is zero track record. There is no way to have a sense of what kind of coach JJ is going to be. We think he's going to relate well to the players. He seems to, and he's certainly a younger guy. We know how good he is at X's and O's. Will he be able to run a staff? Will he be able to run player meetings when things turn sour, because they always do at some point in the series? How much control will he have to bring the guys back? Yes, all of the finger-pointing key, you've got it exactly. So we just don't know. And I think, to me, the way I keep visualizing this, it's like jumping into a pit blindfolded. Maybe there's nice fluffy clouds of cotton candy at the bottom of the pit. Maybe there's, a team of scorpions at the bottom of the pit. We don't know. So they are making a huge gamble here, and they are doing it with the twilight of LeBron James's career, one of the three best players, I think everyone can agree on that, who has ever played the game, and their younger star in Anthony Davis. And we'll just have to see if it works out. I think anyone who tells you they know what's going to happen is lying, because there's not anything to go on.
One of the 10 best players ever played again.
Oh, boy.
Skip.
Well, Anthony Edwards is fifth.
Stop. I'm tired of talking about it. If you're going to hire him, whatever. It's gotten to the point where some people that I know is some others that were in the running is starting to be like, I really don't want to deal with this. So maybe he is getting the momentum. Maybe he is putting the staff together. I know JJ very well. I think if, in fact, it happens, he will prepare himself, but that doesn't mean anything. You can prepare all day long until you're sitting in that cockpit, you have no idea. And so, as Rachel said about the 3-0 comebacks, 155. 0 wins, 155. We can say the same thing about first-time head coaches with zero coaching experience at all. Yeah. Meaning you're not even sitting on the bench to learn. That's been not a disaster, but it hadn't worked out for anybody. It just typically doesn't work out. It hadn't worked out in the past. There's no information at all that says, oh, well, it worked out for so-and-so, and they went on and... So what's the end goal for the Lakers? What are they really trying to get out of here, like she said, twilight years of LeBron? Or are we simply saying we're going to punt on the next couple seasons, and then we're going to look for, 5 years down the line for JJ to still be here while we're building? I don't think that's what LeBron wants. I don't think that's what the Lakers want. So what other moves are they going to make? Are they going to bring in high-level, competent assistants that can help him navigate through everything as a head coach? Or are they going to... Because our biggest problem, in my opinion, isn't necessarily LeBron and AD. It's everybody else behind them. Where's our bigs? Because our biggest issue is the dude up in Denver. We can't do anything. What is it, Skip? 13 out of the 14 out of the last 15 or something weird number like that?
Well, it's 8 out of 9 playoff games. But
if you tell me... Yeah, whatever. Right? Yeah. But I'm talking about regular season and all that. If you told me JJ Redick and Joel Embiid was coming together, just for instance, I'd be like, okay, cool, because we got an answer. We got to figure out an answer for the people in Denver. That's what we have to do. We don't have and figure out an answer for the people in Sacramento. We got those are our issues.
And Minnesota.
In Minnesota, we got those are our issues. Our issue isn't Chet and OKC. Our issue is those type of teams. How do we solve that? If you bring in JJ and everything stays the same, what does that mean? You basically kept Darwin Ham at that point, a guy that went to the Western Conference Final.
Yeah, you had a high-placed highly trusted source of yours tell you it was just a couple of weeks back. No way, JJ Redick, right? I don't know what flipped.
Things change, though, Skip. They all change. People have conversations, and they say to themselves, you know, it's taking too long. Never mind. You'll learn that later on down the line that those conversations have been had. So you left as the Lakers basically with a couple people to choose from. You know, you think about Budenholzer, you think about Bud, and you say, well, he didn't wait. He jumped right because he didn't want to play.
He did.
He wanted to play I think I'm going to go with Rachel. I'm not sure we're going to interview Rachel. He didn't want to do that.
He is from Arizona, but go ahead.
Arizona's great.
Yeah.
LA is 45-minute flight from Arizona. That ain't nowhere, Skip.
Yeah.
You can drive there and get there in 4 hours. So sometimes other candidates smell it because you playing with them. And they say to themselves, they give the indication, you know what, just go ahead and go with JJ. And we're going to wait. And most likely it won't be announced till the finals is over with anyway.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many highly qualified assistants are available or willing to come here and participate in this. I just don't know. Did any pop to your head?
It's not the same, though,
I mean,
right?
well, right now, the Lakers are still technically interviewing head coaching candidates. They have an interview with Borrego coming up. But typically, we have seen them do this where even once they've decided on someone, they still interview other guys to add them to the staff. And that is what happened with Jason Kidd on Frank Vogel's staff, that kind of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers are helping to build this staff right now. You know, Sam Cassell, who I think is super qualified for this job, just as the head coaching job, there's been talk about them still wanting him as an assistant.
I know, but
Doc Rivers also wants him as an assistant, and I do not see him being an assistant to JJ. So
not a chance in hell.
But I think that they can absolutely put some experience on his staff. And
there's some coaches that's out there. Assistant coaches are a lot easier to get than head coaches.
Is the associate head coach in New Orleans, so I just don't know.
Yeah, but you can say,
I want to do that.
Yeah, we could be the associate head coach in LA too.
In LA.
And with a pay increase and all those sort of things. But as far as Sam Cassell goes, Sam Cassell, you're not going to hire me as a head coach? Never mind. I'm not getting, I can go work for Doc. Yeah. And I know I'm next in line in Milwaukee with Doc. I don't have to, not going to happen.
So I know that Rich Paul keeps saying publicly that LeBron has nothing to do with any of this process. But I'm sorry, his fingerprints are all over JJ. You can't, there's no way JJ's even a candidate for this job if LeBron didn't bless him to start with, just to start with. And then it's like, well, you go ahead and make your choice here. But I bless, he is really good at talking basketball because they talk basketball at a very deep or high level on their podcasts. And I'm sure LeBron has been extremely impressed with his knowledge. And I think it's very difficult to impress LeBron James with your basketball knowledge because his is at the top of this league. So he has signed off, at least psychologically, on JJ Redick and told them, I'd be good. I'd be good with that. I just don't know. I said it before. This feels disastrous for JJ. And your analogy about the pit, there are some scorpions in that front office too. It's not a little walk in the park there because we talked the other day about the Rick Bucher article about you got the Magic faction and the Kobe faction within the front office.
It's the Lakers, though, Skip.
It is.
Yeah, as I try to tell Paul.
Yeah.
It's the Lakers. You take the job regardless.
There's no way he's going to turn this down.
If they offer it to you, you take it and let the chips fall where they may. At the end of the day, you look up and you're in a good situation, and maybe, all of a sudden there's a Donovan Mitchell that falls in your lap. You just never know. You take the job.
Yeah. The Athletic reported, I think it was this morning, that they're not focused on adding another big piece. They're going to do all little pieces. They just want to help the supporting cast. Maybe you need another backup big. I thought Jackson Hayes was pretty good, but not what you wanted.
Yeah, I've definitely heard the same thing.
Yeah.
And, part of that is because of who's out there. I just don't see a world where they get Donovan Mitchell.
Maybe not.
So
maybe not today. Maybe they get him 4 years from now.
But I'm not sure that this coming year there's some perfect fit third big star. And the front office, if they're smart and they can't find someone who fits that description, it is smarter. Instead of chasing someone who isn't quite good enough to be your big third star that you're going to give a ton of money to, it's better to build out the rest of your team. Because, Key, you're absolutely right. If there were better players around AD and LeBron, they would have
good. Look, I don't want to say better players.
That doesn't mean they're bad, but they're
what I would say
better.
is if you can upgrade in certain spots, then you go ahead and you do that because our problems are in front of us. So we can see them clearly. Yeah. The problem maybe from a personality standpoint, it didn't work with Darvingham and some of the things of that nature because he wasn't just giving in to the stars. He was doing it his way.
I do think he was pretty good, though.
No, I'm saying he wasn't giving in to the stars. Right. He was doing it his way.
He was.
And maybe that didn't work out. But when you got Joker doing what he's doing and you got De'Aaron Fox doing what he's doing too, it's like, what are you going to do? There's only so much you can do when the roster has a little bit of flaws to it. It's going to be interesting, though, guys, because if they don't, in the next couple years, figure out how to win a championship, the fire is going to turn up even more. It's just, it's the Lakers.
Well, look, and we've talked about this a lot over the past week since Darvin was fired. They have had 6 head coaches in 13 years. And even the one guy who won a title for them in that stretch, they got rid of him.
I didn't understand how they were.
It wasn't really a title. It was a Mickey Mouse.
It was a real title.
You were there.
I was there. I'm telling you, if you had to eat the food, it was a title.
So funny.
But
teams that didn't win, it's a problem.
Yeah.
They teams had won.
Oh, that's so tough.
It was the greatest thing ever.
But look,
Clippers hit the wall. They didn't want to be there.
No, that instability that they have had at coach has cost them. There's just no question about that. So what I do like, what I'm hearing from Lakers people, is them saying we want to purposely hire someone young. We want this guy to be with the team for the next 5-7 years. We want someone to basically usher Anthony Davis through. Well, in football, everyone's young.
No, I'm saying every coach they hired has been young. I'm trying to think. When you said it, I'm like, Luke Walton was young.
Well, yes. But
Darvingham is a young head coach. Frank Vogel's a young head coach.
The point is, at least this time, they are trying to think longer term.
Yeah.
The problem is the pit. And if it's cotton candy, that's great. If it's scorpions, I don't know how long you keep him. But I will say, Key, to your point about, hey, they're keeping all these other guys on a string waiting. They are not going to announce this, not publicly, not even privately, to other candidates and say, oh, we're hiring JJ because he has NBA Finals responsibilities with ESPN and just they're a league partner and they're not going to do that.
All right, last point. Byron Scott was on your podcast. We had him on the show a couple of weeks back, and he made the point LeBron should coach this team, and he was kind of sort of half kidding, but he was half serious. This way with JJ, the associate head coach has to be LeBron, and I'm not kidding about that. In a good way, it has to be because he's going to have to. But he's going to have to. For once, he's got a coach. He can coach. You know, like he can coach the coach because JJ is going to be all ears with LeBron. Like, don't you think they'll communicate and won't they confide in each other? Right?
It's all fine and dandy until you get to the top and things start to get lonely when you start losing games. Okay? LeBron is playing basketball. He's on the floor. He doesn't have time to strategize with Redick when timeouts come.
Not at that point.
You can't. You can't possibly, Skip, do that. It's so hard. People don't understand. You get, well, what's a timeout? 30 seconds? Yeah. Whatever it is. You get a little few minutes to do some stuff. It's easy to look at a podcast. Me and you sitting here for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes having a conversation about X's and O's. When we get on the floor and those lights turn on, it's not I don't give a damn how high your IQ is.
Yeah.
There's a million different things that's going on.
Yeah.
It's so difficult.
I know, but he can make little suggestions, switch Rui on to Joker or whatever. You know, that can happen in 45 seconds.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Just trust me on that one, Skip.
Right.
It ain't that easy.
Okay, so you're feeling disaster also, right?
No, I don't feel disaster. I feel where are we going? What are we trying to accomplish here? Are we just going along for the next couple years for the ride, or are we really trying to win a championship? Because if you think about it, if LeBron James wasn't on the team, if LeBron James wasn't on this team, I would be like, oh, yeah, that's a cool hire. No problem at all. It's good. But the fact that we got a guy that's got 2 years of LeBron left in him, 2 years of this LeBron from last year left in him, we can't waste his years messing around with an inexperienced head coach.
I will bet you that Jeannie Buss has decided she's seeing the next Pat Riley in JJ. I will bet you.
Well, they walked it back, right, Rachel? It ain't Pat Riley as much.
Yeah, again,
But
the shift I've heard in the last week from people.
But that's what she knows.
Yes, is Steve Kerr, Steve Kerr, Steve Kerr. And
Pat Riley was an assistant.
But that's my point.
He was on the bench.
Was very.
And he had a young Magic Johnson, and a young Worthy, and a Byron Scott, and a Michael Cooper,
and a veteran,
in the cap. I mean, like, come on.
He did. Ooh.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.